stream the video, and I'll pull the audio off that later on today. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
William Wilkins is his name. All right, welcome everybody. Monday Morning Golf Wrap here. George and Hugh Roy III. And just an update for all of our listeners and viewers from around the world. Hugh and I played in the Low Country Open this weekend, and congratulations to Hugh because he ends up shooting 69-67 and had a good weekend there, bud. We got to play with you on Saturday, so it's always a blast to watch a professional at work.
We had a blast on Saturday. I mean, Charlie played well, your partner. You hit the ball well, played well. And, Charles, Causey, and I, we had a great time getting to hang out
Charlie
with friends.
Moore went ballistic Saturday.
I tell you what, that man, he hit it close so many times it was a joke.
And then yesterday, he couldn't have made a putt inside of a 55-gallon drum.
Poor guy.
Bless his heart.
I tell you what, though, I felt like I was always in the group behind because they had me playing 40 yards behind y'all.
I know.
I'm standing back there waving at y'all. Y'all are up there waiting on me to tee off.
It was good. It was all good.
Yeah, it was lovely.
It was fun.
I'm hitting 5-irons. They're hitting sandwiches.
All right, folks, just to update you, yes, the Godfather has won lunch. So I will be partaking in the noon buffet at Ruth Chris Steakhouse on behalf of Hugh Roy III.
Yeah.
So how about that?
Mm-hmm.
Come one, come all. Come join the Godfather in his celebratory lunch because, frankly, that's the only thing that I got out of this event, and this is something I wanted to bring up real quick, Hugh. We played in the Low Country Open, which was put on by the Coastal Players Tour, and won Al Hogan. And there was the tournament itself, which was an open. We were understanding that it was a open and then a seniors division. So myself and Charlie Moore, who's older than Methuselah, we signed up for this thing as a team. And we go out, and on the first day, we participate in the Calcutta. And, of course, you've got the registration fees for the tournament itself, which would pay out the tournament prizes. And so you had all these good local players. You had several guys from out of town that drove in for this thing. There was a lot of people, several states actually represented in this event, over 130 players. And so we go out, and my partner and I, along with Hugh and his partner, Mr. Causey, we have a great day on the golf course. But like I said, my partner went ballistic. I only helped with a couple of shots, and we ended up shooting 64 as a team on the first day.
Yeah.
And you guys had 69, I think, as a team.
We shot 69, yeah.
So, here we are at 64, and we're leaders in the clubhouse when we get in. And there was about 20 groups still out when we finished Saturday afternoon. By the way, it was taking forever to play both days, especially day 2. But kind of bring in the story a little bit. We were in the understanding, and I think you were too, Pro, we were in the understanding that this Calcutta was going to be paid out each day. And so Charlie and I, we're kind of excited. I mean, we post 64, and we're going home feeling pretty good that we probably are in the money for at least the Calcutta. And, we're setting pretty good for the next day. And we're probably going to, be right up there at the top of our seniors division.
Yeah.
Well, we get there the next morning, being yesterday, day 2, and we find out that there is no seniors division, that Charlie Moore and myself, the Godfather, had been put into the championship flight. And now that the Calcutta was not going to be paid out after the first day, it wasn't an individual day Calcutta. It was now a 2-day Calcutta, and nobody knew if the first day's scores were going to count or if it was just going to be paid on the second day or if it was going to be the 2-day scores combined. Nobody had a clue. Nobody would inform us of that. And we were just told to go out and play, which, by the way, ended up being we teed off exactly 1 hour and 3 minutes after our scheduled tee time.
We were close to 35 minutes.
Okay. So you can see how it built up.
Yeah, it built up big.
And there's no reason for that.
No.
That's just piss poor management of the event itself. Pure and simple.
I'm not going to argue that at all. And then the fact that, and it's like Heather gave me flack about it too, George. But, I mean, I'm 51 years old. And they've got me toping the tips with the milk-drinking bag toters.
That's right.
I'm playing this golf course as long as it can play. And
that's right. And, by the way, Charlie Moore was making a comment about the two individuals we played with. He goes, these two snot-nosed kids just got off their mama's tit.
Oh, Lord.
It was bad, dude. It was bad. So, long story short, Charlie and I go out and as a team shoot 68. And by the way, the Godfather ended up shooting 70-70 each day. So yesterday was better ball striking than the day before. However, yesterday was a worse putting day than the day before. But I will say this, Hugh, I have got to get a lesson with my 100 yards and in. I just have to have it. Around the green, I got as good a set of hands as anybody. But from 100 yards, 110, 120 yards in, for 2 days, dude, I'm lost. So, and that results, if you keep having 20, 25-foot putts for birdie, you can't score.
Yeah, you're right.
You can't score. I don't care how good of a putter you are. Now, I didn't have any 3 putts, but, it doesn't matter. If you're not able to take advantage of the birdies when you have the opportunity to, and like you said, especially on Saturday. Now, yesterday they had taken the tees and kind of scrunched them together, so there wasn't a lot of big distances between the tips and
they moved them up on 3 holes yesterday. But I mean, like 18, I'm standing I got 1 foot off the tee. I hit driving a 4-iron to 18 yesterday.
Right.
I mean, it was playing every bit of what it was. Now they moved it up on 17, but you look at it, on 14 and some of those, they were back. So, I mean, it was a little variable to it, but I think that there was too many. There wasn't enough set tournament regulations and
rules,
how things were going to be done.
Well, it's pretty simple. I mean, a Calcutta is based off of the play by the players themselves that participate in the Calcutta.
Yes.
It's a separate bet. It's a separate money pot. It has nothing to do with the tournament except for the scores that are posted. Thusly, we go shoot 68-64. We're tied for second. There's a group that won clear outright. Then there was 3 teams of 2 that tied for second. What should have been done is that Calcutta taken and split between those 6 players in second place and the first place team. Pure and simple. It's easy. It's easy math.
Yeah, I mean, they're paying 3 spots. You take first place, they win first place prize money. Second and third, fourth, the ones that tied, you're splitting second and third place between the 6 players.
That's right.
You don't do it off a scorecard.
You don't do it off a scorecard, which is what they did. And then they also, of course, handed out tournament funds off the scorecard. I understand that. That's fine because the tournament payout was gift shop or pro shop certificates or whatever the heck, which the merchandise belonged to them anyway. So they're just paying themselves, which was squirrely in the event of itself. But and I'm still waiting to see if they even pay the manufacturers for that material.
Who knows?
So let's just say this, folks. It was a lot of fun going out and sharing the weekend with my brothers. Charlie Moore enjoyed the heck out of it. Mr. Causey, you're my man, dude. It was a lot of fun, and good luck with the gout, dude. I know you're hurting. I know he's hurting. Charlie was telling me about his ankle.
Yeah, but he actually played better yesterday because he couldn't swing so hard. So he had to swing smooth, and he made 2 birdies yesterday.
Yeah,
so.
Like Judge Smales.
Yeah.
You just cut the hamstring right at the back there, and he can't get his weight off his right side. He'll never get the ball airborne.
Oh, Lord.
So, all right, dude, let's enough about that. So I'm looking forward to lunch. Anybody wants to come along, you're welcome to join us. And, Heather, that does include you. Moving on, what'd you think about the weekend, dude?
I tell you what, Troy Merritt played some fantastic golf. I mean, that young man, nice to see somebody that is as nice a kid as he is and is such a family man. And, golf is what he does, but not his his life and something he's consumed with. And he went out and shot 18 under and beat Ricky Fowler by 3 shots.
Well, there was a lot of people that were really saying that he was going to fold like a cheap beach chair.
Yeah.
On the final day, just simply because, he's been up there in the top 5, but he hasn't really done anything.
Yeah.
And so everybody kind of expected him to fall back with the likes of Ricky hanging on his back, his back strings, let's say. And but lo and behold, he goes out and just takes command. And to do that, he shoots 67. And actually, if you look at, there's been 7 rounds of 62 or below on the PGA Tour this year.
Wow. That's low.
Okay?
That's impressive.
Now, he's got 2 at 61. How about that? He shoots 61 on Saturday, and that's his second 61 posted in this season on the PGA Tour.
It was just a matter of time before he walked into the winner's circle. It was just, like I said, when you got to get there and fail a few times and choke to learn how to handle that pressure, and obviously he did.
Well, coming into this week, of course, is the WGC, the Bridgestone at Firestone Country Club, and you and I both have played there, been there. It's a wonderful, wonderful golf course, wonderful place. It's interesting. They can get the rough growing up. It can become a beast if you get off the fairway. And, it's like this weekend, dude. We played in that Bermuda rough this weekend. Fairways are wide, but if you are playing one side of the fairway versus the other and you get – I had a ball that literally was 2 inches out of the fairway yesterday, and I almost couldn't see the top of it. We almost didn't find it.
Wow. Well, I wouldn't know.
I know.
I didn't miss one.
Yeah, I know. You hit all the fairways. I know, dude.
It's that Callaway driver, brother.
Okay. All right. Plug. So Ricky Fowler ends up shooting 69 yesterday. As Hugh mentioned, 269 versus 266 for Troy. David Lingmerth, he comes up, finishes in third place. Jason Bond, Bill Haas, Danny Lee, Carl Patterson, Justin Rose, Justin Thomas, all tied in fourth position. Then you had Ryo Ishikawa in 10th place. Chad Campbell has another good tournament. And Charles Howell III, again, Hugh, Charles Howell, 67, 67, 67, 73. Come on, man.
Well, look at what Tiger did. Everybody was talking about Tiger, and he went out Saturday, played bad, but he comes back, and he shoots 3 under yesterday, and everybody says, "Oh, he's on his way back." Well,
Jiminy Christmas!
It's like listening about the poor dentist that went on the safari hunt, and everybody's talking about that for the last 2 weeks. This right here is getting old.
It is.
It's time to show something, or let's leave it alone and talk about who's winning the golf tournaments.
He's number 230 in the world, and
getting more press than the guy winning the golf tournament.
It's just
pathetic.
It's pathetic. I'm done. I'm done. All right, let's move on. Another event that occurred this weekend, folks, and one that I really enjoyed watching was the women's British Open, the Women's Open Championship. And NB Park, I don't know.
And how do they say she hasn't won the career Grand Slam? She has won every major on the LPGA, correct?
Well, there are now 16 majors in the women's season.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
It's if Michael's able to get another manufacturer or another corporate sponsor, he says, "Oh, sure, we'll make your event a major. Who cares?"
Yeah.
Look, dude, she's won everything. She's won all the majors except for the U.S. Open. So they're claiming that she doesn't have a Grand Slam, a career Grand Slam. She's got it. Who cares? Who cares? How do you define Grand Slam?
Yeah.
Is that because the old boys and behind the mahogany doors say, "Oh, well, it has to be these 4 and nothing else"? Okay, let's put a new definition on it.
Well, the girls
now
65.
Now you got to wear 6. You got to win 6.
Yeah.
Okay, to win a career Grand Slam. We'll put that out. That comes direct from the Godfather. You have to win 6.
Okay, but the girl goes out and shoots 65 to win the British Open. I wouldn't say a word to her. You can have whatever you want.
That's right. Who cares?
I mean, Michelle Wheat withdraws and no cards after being 10 over, And then this girl shoots 65, and then, again, they're talking about something other than the person that really won the golf tournament. I mean, let it go.
I wish some manufacturers and corporate sponsors would start letting go and cut off some of those checks that some of these people are making.
It's pretty ridiculous. I have to agree with you.
At a point, it's no different in this sport than in any other sport. But at some point in time, when you're getting paid $20 million to play a sport, at some point in time, you've got to stay committed to the sport and say, this is my profession. These lawyers and doctors and all this other stuff, and you and I don't get paid money to come in here and sit behind this microphone.
Yeah.
We show up, we do our bit, and we move on. And, for these people to just sit back and just, oh, well, my wrist hurts, and, oh, well, I've got a pulled hamstring, and, oh, well, I was wearing 6 pounds of tape, and it stressed my lower back. The Michelle Wee syndrome.
Yeah.
I'm just fed up with it. I'm in a bad mood today, dude.
I know you are. I can tell.
We should have taped this last night, Jeff. If he would,
we'd all been kicked off the air.
His finger would have been in a brace this morning from hitting the red button. I mean, it was. Oh Lord, I'm so ticked off about that tournament this weekend. All right, another event that was going on, Web.com Tour out in Utah. Great golf course, folks. Just spectacular vistas. It ended up in a playoff, and the gentleman who ends up winning this thing was actually the number 1 ranked player. He was pretty much guaranteed. There was no way, shape, or form that he wasn't going to make it to the PGA Tour this year. But Patton Kizzire ends up winning his first Web.com Tour event.
Yep, Patton Kizzire, and he played at Auburn.
He's
young man.
He's only had like 27 top 5 finishes this year.
Well, he's played fantastic.
He was number 1 in the money rankings.
Yeah.
He was guaranteed his card, and then it's interesting though. Yesterday he ends up getting his first victory, and I'm sitting there looking at his caddy with the number 1 bib on, and I'm going, how the heck do you get to be number 1 and not get a win?
No, just playing solid golf. It's a Tom Kite syndrome is what I call it.
I call it the ATM syndrome.
Oh, it is that. No question.
I mean, he's just a walking ATM.
He's playing great this year. I'm glad to see it. He's, like I said, he is
relocated to Sea Island.
Yep.
He's having a blast. He goes down and plays practice rounds with Davis and Zach and several of the other guys. He's 6'12".
He's a big boy. He's 6'4".
He weighs 138 pounds.
A little more than that, but he can bomb it too.
Oh, pound it.
He can. No
question. I love his putting stroke. He's just smooth, solid, nice, lazy approach to everything. And congratulations to Pat. Patton he goes out and beats Sung Kang, and you have to give it to the young man who was trying to stay there and battle with him at 5'8" compared to Goliath over there.
Yeah.
But it ended up they played 18 and they basically matched pars on the first one. Then the second one, Patton ends up taking a drive a little bit further right, cuts off more of the corner, ends up in the fairway versus the rocks that he was in the first time going by, and Kang ends up kind of hitting his pitch shot short, his approach shot short, leaves himself about 20 feet, and then Patton just gets up and just sends it up there toward the pin, and thankfully it takes one big hop and checks up for him and leaves himself a foot away.
Yeah,
and
helps.
with a tap in.
And plus the fact out there, you're giving it, you're 10% is how much further the ball flies up there because of the lack of humidity plus the altitude.
Yeah,
and the greens dry out faster and they get firmer. So that's why it was always fun to play out west.
Well, it's always fun to do all that stuff out there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the vistas and the viewpoints and all that. But interesting with that golf course, and of course we're talking about they had been playing at Willow there in the past, and now they are at Thanksgiving Thanksgiving Golf Club. Isn't that interesting?
Yes,
Good name.
it is.
But you literally stand on these tee boxes and you're looking and you're hitting toward mountains.
Oh, yeah.
Because you don't see fairway.
And the funny part is when you do it, even like when they used to play at the golf course right down from BYU Stadium in Provo, we used to play there, you'd hit these tee shots and the ball would disappear into the mountains. You'd hit it, you're looking down the fairway, but there's the mountain in the distance, and the ball would just kind of disappear up there. Then you'd see it. It was pretty freaky.
Well, there was one fairway in particular, a par 4 that they were playing here, and it backed up right to a 620-yard par 5. But this par 4, if they flew over the ravine, there was 4 spots for them to aim at. There was 238, 258, 278, 318. And that's what they had to carry it and then get it to stop for it to stay in the fairway.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it ends up in the heavy rough. And it was interesting to watch the players come through pairing to pairing to pairing and determine which of those 4 spots that they were going to aim at.
What they were comfortable with.
Yeah. And you see the guys pull out 3 woods and go at the 238.
Yeah.
Then you see guys taking the 258 with a 3 wood and just barely making it. And you'd see their, the sphincter muscle just go to nothing. And then the big bombers were sitting there going at the 300 marker.
Wow.
And you sit and watch this ball fly, Hugh, and you're counting it in seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, from launch to land, you're counting 1,001, 1,002,
Right.
1,003,
That's the
1,004. I mean, these balls flying 7-8 seconds.
I understand. That's the thing about playing out there. You get it in the air, it will go. If you don't, it goes nowhere.
Well, yeah.
But if you get it up and it's solid, it will carry and go. And it doesn't matter if it's into the wind or not.
And they were some creepy crawly things.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They got some snakes
They
out there.
were showing Saturday. They were showing one of the guys who had just barely made the cut, but he was struggling just to get up into maybe the top 45, top 50. But he had hit one a little left. He had snapped it. Okay. And they're over there, and here's all these marshalers, and here's all these rule officials, and here's all these spectators looking for this ball. And all of a sudden, you see about 4 or 5 of them just scatter. They just scatter. And it's not like they ran, they leaped. And evidently, there was one of those little things over there with the little baby rattles on the end of it.
Yeah.
So it's always interesting to watch people intercommunicate with the local environment. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
All right, buddy. Well, we had the web.com. We got the PGA Tour handled. We got the ladies at the Women's Open. This week, we've got the WGC, Cadillac, Firestone, all the accolades, everything. Jordan's back. He comes back and plays. Ricky's there. Ricky's on fire. Ricky's playing really well.
Yeah, he is.
Who do we see this week? And then the guys basically are going to take a couple of weeks off in preparation for the PGA at Whistling Straits.
Yes.
So I think this week is going to be the hoorah. Golf Channel this morning was touting, what's wrong with Phil? What's going wrong? Why isn't Phil doing anything? He hasn't won since 2013. No. Well, I guess, are they just tired of talking about Tiger and now they're going to pick on Phil? Or?
Probably.
I can't figure it out, dude.
I think they're just looking for something to talk about. That's
Must
on
be.
the typical negative.
They
way
can
to
call
go.
us. We can talk about that tournament we played in this weekend.
Well, you'll be Well,
I'm going to talk about that for a week.
I know.
Okay. As soon as you buy me lunch, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'll shut it up. Okay?
Yep.
So I'm waiting on you.
Okay.
All right, TGD Radio and TV are produced and broadcast by the Zeus Radio Network for thegolfdirector.com. When visiting the Golf Director, be sure to check out our featured course pages where you'll find up-to-date information about course conditions, specials, and much, much more. Need help with your next golf vacation? Just call Dave. Give us a call right here at the Golf Director, 844-GO-GOLF-1, 844-464-6531. All of our programming is archived for listening and viewing on demand to catch up on any show. Thank you. You may have missed. The needle gets stuck every once in a while, dude.
Oh, Lord.
Click on the TGD Radio or the TGD TV tabs in the menu screen at thegolfdirector.com. We are now available on over 1
billion.
Thank you. Devices at iTunes, Audio Realm, TuneIn, YouTube, Ustream, Roku, Blueberry, and of course the Myrtle Beach Golf app. For Hugh Roy III, I'm George Honeycutt. We want to thank Jeff behind the glass, and we want to thank you for tuning in and joining us on the Monday Morning Golf Wrap right here on thegolfdirector.com. There's more golf news and information coming up next.